Thank you. Just for clarity, Mr. Chiloba, the CEO in issue here is yourself. And the members of the disposal committee, I'd like you to confirm who of the four listed on page 90 are still employees of IBC. But while you clarify that, two things. One, Section 129 is very clear. It only authorizes you to dispose of unserviceable, obsolete, or surplus stores. Now, I think we can agree that it was not surplus. It was clearly serviceable, but your answer is that it was obsolete. But that answer is not quite sincere, because if you look at page 13, look at paragraph 42A, your own response. It says the Commission, due to technological advancement, anticipated that the AVID laptops would be obsolete. It is not that they were obsolete at the time. In your own wisdom, you decided they would be obsolete, which means citing Section 129 does not avail you because it requires to be obsolete at the time. But in any event, in paragraph 38, you say you cleaned them before releasing them. The basic question in any event would be, why would you donate obsolete stuff? It cannot be obsolete if the person receiving it is going to use it. The second question is this. This was in 2014. I believe you'll agree with me that there were ongoing elections petitions. And I'm sure that you'll agree that under the elections law, you must preserve all elections materials. And these laptops were part of the election material. Isn't it true that by releasing part of them, you are actually breaching the election laws in respect of the petitions that were going on? I think those are the two I'll ask for now.
Please respond to those two questions, and then we progress.
Mr. Chair, actually a number of questions, but I think they are related. Just to also confirm to the committee that this process had started much earlier in 2014, as Honorable Otiende points out. But, it required a due process. That means you need to get approval, internal approval at the policy level. Then you start the process internally. So there was a little bit of delay, and the letter from the PS Kibicho then was a reminder that elections were already approaching in Burundi, and they had not made any commitments. So, Mr. Chair, when we looked at it, we realized that, there weren't many steps that were remaining. So the easiest thing was to confirm that and deal with it in that situation, Mr. Chair, in that situation. Because then you want to be useful if you're really trying to help. And I think this is the situation of the day, which also includes us writing to the transitional authority. There's a provision in law that talks about before you dispose or transfer assets, you're supposed to notify the transitional authority then. So we even wrote a letter to the transitional authority at the time. And in terms of upgrading the software, Mr. Chair, it is true that you can upgrade the software on a system that you are still using. In this case, the software was not the same. It's not an ordinary software like we deal with Microsoft Office or so. It was a laptop, a software for, I think we call it EFIS.
Is there an ICT guy there?
Yes,
Mr. Chiloba?
Yes, we have James here.
Is there?
Yes, he's there.
Yeah.
He can clarify.
He can help us.
Yes. So you had this software that was applied together with the kits by First Technology that will enable now the identification of a voter. And together with the scanners which are attached to that particular kit is what now completed the equipment to be an electronic voter identification device. If you separate those items, then you're only having separate equipment. You can use it for whatever other purposes. So in our case, when we were talking about